My name is Jody Wharton. I am an LSW. I am an Adult Protective Services case manager here at the Franklin County Office on Aging. Well, obviously being a social worker, I want to help people, and I believe I'm also a natural problem solver. And so I grew up in a family with a lot of grandparents and great-grandparents, and just having a lot of relationships with them and being around them a lot, I really earned a sense of just respect and responsibility. So when I became a social worker and knew that geriatrics was a field that I could go into, I was naturally, obviously, interested in doing that, and wanted to get involved and wanted to help with the vulnerable population of the elderly here in Franklin County. Well, we provide three main areas of service. The first one is case management, which means when referrals come in of elder abuse, we keep them on a caseload and do visits and things like that. Just very generic type of case management. The second thing that we do is crisis intervention. We assist people that might be in need of some type of an emergency. We're definitely not like a 911 service, but we are emergency as far as investigations go with the Adult Protective Services and the abuse, neglect, and exploitation. And then we also do advocacy for our seniors. Those are the... To go more in depth, Adult Protective Services does the investigation of abuse, neglect, and exploitation. Abuse is whenever an elderly person over the age of 60 in Franklin County, there's someone who causes some type of physical abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse, or even sexual abuse. That person could be an acquaintance, it could be a family member, it could be a worker that's in the home providing care. As far as neglect that's whenever, there's two types of neglect. There's a neglect from a caregiver, and that's when a caregiver fails to provide the goods and services to an adult that's over the age of 60, that's over the age of 6, would be like food, shelter, medication, doctor's appointments, paying bills, that type of neglect. Then there's also self-neglect. And self-neglect is when the elderly person themselves actually fail to provide the goods and services that they need to conduct activities of daily living, which would be, again, like paying bills, managing medication, making sure that they have food, they have shelter, and the services that we probably all take for granted. But there are seniors out there that have difficulty being able to meet those needs. And then the last one is financial exploitation. And that's whenever a caregiver will take advantage of a senior as far as their finances go. And this could be power of attorneys, it could be checkbook, changing of wills, it could be stealing money actually in the homes. A lot of exploitation goes on with banking. So it could be a lot of different financial exploitation circumstances surrounding that. But those are the three main areas that APS does investigate. Well, social workers in APS wear a lot of many hats. But the first one that we do is we obviously investigate the allegations of abuse, neglect, and exploitation. And we do this by going out in the community. We make home visits to our seniors that have been alleged victims. We do face-to-face interviews. And we do a lot of risk assessments based on the allegations and their answers. We kind of determine what the risk factor is for them. And that also helps us determine how we're going to proceed with the investigation. Sometimes there's emergencies and sometimes there isn't. We also make referrals and link seniors to community resources, such as the Franklin County Office on Aging, COAAA, mental health networks. So there's a lot of community agencies that we rely on to assist us when we do these assessments. We also do crisis management and intervention. Like I said, there's emergency situations where we have people that do not have housing, they're homeless. We do have seniors that also do not have food. We have seniors that, due to mental status issues, end up needing to have court involvement with guardianships because they lack the support of family, friends, or just community resources at that point. We also advocate for seniors and make sure that we allow them to have their rights to self-determination. We want to make sure that they participate in our investigation, they're a part of that, and we try to respect their self-determination when we do get involved And then the most restrictive type of involvement we do in providing services is court. We can ask for guardianships, we can ask for conservatorships, and we can also ask for APS protective orders if needed. In general, I would say protecting seniors' rights. I don't think being a younger person in the community, I don't think we really truly appreciate the seniors and a lot of difficulties that they go through with either mental or physical incapacities, and the lack of support and isolation that we find them in. So I personally want to be their advocate. I want to be their mouthpiece when they can't advocate for themselves because they don't understand how things work in today's world. I want to be their ears, their eyes, and I want to be just a very strong advocate for them. And I also, the most fulfilling part is to know that when I left a senior, that I provided the best service to them that I could, that they could be safe and live peacefully. I think the biggest quality that I see in myself and that I know with my coworkers that we all share is being fair and objective. When we go into investigations, there's a lot of allegations, and those allegations are just sometimes false, they're misleading. So being objective and fair when we do go into a situation, being a good listener, and making sure that you're not in there trying to rescue a senior. Seniors don't appreciate necessarily being rescued. They want to be a part of your process. As I said before, self-participation, self-determination. So we try to respect what they want and how they want this to develop as far as investigations and our involvement with linking to services. So being objective, being a good listener, being patient. You encounter a lot of seniors that have some incapacities, and so, you know, home visits can be very long. And, you know, the rewards, though, of being patient and being in there and being sympathetic and empathetic and all those great qualities and listening is that you actually do get to know those people and you get an idea of what they want out of life and where they want to see their life being directed to, and giving them the opportunity, even though they might have some incapacities, to still be in charge of their life, and letting them guide you and be respectful of that is the most important qualities I would say.